Good morning. This is Captain Australia. It's the 17th of September. It's 10 to 7. So here I am at King George Square, as you can see behind me. And I'm about to start my trial run to the Gold Coast. So it's a 90-kilometre walk. I expect I'll get there probably sometime around 1 a.m. But, you know, I might stop midway. I might try sleeping rough because I need to practice my equipment. And, yeah, I'll do update streams throughout the day. So why am I doing this? First and foremost, it's for the Kids Cancer Project. So I've had a fight with cancer myself, and I could not abide seeing children wait for treatment. The fact is that it's somewhere close to 1,000 children, Aussie kids, every year will be diagnosed with cancer. It kills more children than any other disease. Of those 1,000, 200 will not survive treatment. And of the 800 that do, they'll face the same sort of chronic health problems that wrecked me. And I'm a grown man, and I think their average age is about 6. So to me, that is a very important and very worthy cause, and my first motivation. The second is my own healing. So as a survivor of a stage 4 squamous cell carcinoma of the head and neck, I have had to overcome, I think, some pretty dark moments. The cancer pretty much crippled me, and I've been able to fight my way back from that, get up. And the big walk is all about that. It's just a metaphor for no matter how hard life tries to grind you down, finding ways to get up and move forward. And my third motivation, which matters to me very much as well, is to leave a path that you can follow. So if you are struggling with any sort of suffering or hardship, depression, it doesn't have to be a chronic health issue. You might be dealing with alcohol, whatever it is. By seeing me, this broken old fool, manage to climb up and move forward, if I can do it, you absolutely can. So that's my motivation, and I'm about to set off for the Gold Coast, and I'll do update little streams to let you know where I'm at along the way. All the best. See you soon.
G'day, Captain Australia here. I just uploaded a live stream which I did not realise that I had failed to upload. So I set out from the Brisbane CBD this morning at 7 o'clock, explained what I was doing. I'm heading to the Gold Coast. Right now I'm on Logan Road headed towards Garden City, later Eagleby, Yatala, and following the Pacific Motorway down to the coast. So it's a $90 Captain Australia. It's a 90-kilometre hike, and yeah, it looks like I might get on the telly. So this morning, the lovely cameraman Rick has come out and met up with me, and he's been taking some video. So more on that at some point. But for now, yeah, my hike to the Gold Coast. So I'm just going to put in a quick 30, I reckon, and see how we go from there. I might need to take a bit of a rest. I don't want to risk any blisters. But yeah, the goal is to be reasonably serious about the hike. I think it's a challenge. 90 kilometres. It's a good 18 to 20 hour walk. So I'll leave it there. I'll just give you little brief streams along the way to show you where I am and what I'm up to. All the best, and sorry for forgetting the upload this morning if anybody had been waiting to see what was going on today. Cheers. Bye-bye. G'day everybody, this is Captain Australia with a bit of an update. So, I've been walking for 2.5 hours now on my way down to the Gold Coast, as I explained to you this morning. Behind me you can probably see the lovely Greenslopes Park. I'm not sure how much distance I've covered. I think I've been going a little bit slow this morning, a lot of waves and g'days. Not much really to say. I'm going to continue down Logan Road. I'm meeting a dad and his kids at Eagleby, and we're going to have a little bit of a giggle, you know, give a little bit of a memory to the children, which I think will be great fun. Yeah, and it's all for the Kids Cancer Project. So again, about 950 children a year in Australia are diagnosed with cancer, and 200 of them won't survive. So that's what all this is about. All the best, and I will update you in the next hour or two. Cheers. Bye-bye.
G'day, this is Captain Australia, just updating. I've been on the road for about 5 hours now. Currently I am at Westfield Garden City, which you can see behind me. Doesn't look like much of a garden, more of a box, I'm thinking, but and behind me there you should see a sign that says the Gold Coast is 65 kilometres from here. So, best be keep walking, eh? I'm getting a lot of memories back. When I was 15, I walked this way on the start of a long walk to Sydney. It's a long story that I won't go into right now, but I went and lived with my grandmother. Her name was Judith, and I adored that woman. She was a very stern woman, a very hurt woman. She was in a bad situation at home. A husband who thought it was okay to use his fists on her. It was terrible. But when I got there, it forced a kind of a reconciliation between them, or at least a ceasefire. So when I set out to Sydney when I was 15 years old, I went to be with her, to live with her, because I had to get out of where I was living. And in a way, I brought a little bit of peace to those last couple of years of her life, because she died not long later. And yeah, I just haven't thought about her in a while. She died of cancer, so sometimes in my own fight with cancer, and she died young, 54, so I would think of her and remember my love for her, but that love never came back to me as like a living memory, full force, like it is now. I remember it as if, it's more than 30 years ago, but I can see her face clearly in front of me. And I miss her. And isn't that beautiful? Like in the darkest pit of cancer, you have the option to pull away from feeling. You have the option to numb yourself to feeling. And I think that's something that human beings just naturally do after trauma. Even like nuanced, kind of subtle trauma, like aging. You get older, you get grumpier, you pull away a little bit because you know your mortality is coming. So you're making it easy on yourself and others by turning into a bit of an a-hole. I think that's a natural phenomenon. And when I was dealing with my stage 4 cancer, I faced that. Like a numbness, a bereftness of hope. And the numbness was like, I guess, almost a survival mechanism. I don't know. Anyway, so I've been walking for 5 hours, so maybe I'm starting to feel a little bit chatty. I actually really miss my grandma. I think I've got this song going over in my head. It's like, anytime you feel the pain, hey Jude, refrain from taking the world upon your shoulder. And don't you know that it's a fool who plays it cool by making this world a little colder. Sorry, I can't sing very well, but the part that you want in that song is, I think, friends, beers, and the na 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 na. Hey Jude, 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 Jude. The Beatles, yeah, good on you. Anyway, I guess this walk to the Gold Coast, it's for you, dude. I hope you're around somewhere. I hope you don't suffer as you did in life. I wish you well. And hey, I'm on my way. The next major stop will be a place called Eagleby, which I think is still a few hours away. But I've agreed. This bloke wrote me. He wants me to meet up with him and his family. He's got some young kids, so I'm looking forward to saying good day to him. I have memories as a child to this very day that still are just vivid and bright, and they're all strange things, So seeing some Boofhead dressed up as a superhero, walking with him, I think that's a chance to create a memory with these little kids. Doesn't matter that they're not my three boys. I think all children are precious, and that's why I'm doing this charity walk for the Kids Cancer Project, because 950 kids every year in Australia are diagnosed with cancer. It's unacceptable. 200 of them will die. They will not survive treatment. It's unacceptable. So, if I can put a little bit of magic or a little bit of strange into a kid's life, I celebrate that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to Eagleby and meeting this family and saying g'day. I might not be able to stream it because, you know, I mean, if they want to, I'll show you some photos in a bit of a stream, but I'll respect it if they don't as well, because, you know, who wants to throw their kids out into the world of the deep, dark internet? Anyway, look, sorry, I could jibber jabber on forever. I am right now just passing Garden City. I have 65 more kilometres to go to the Gold Coast. I'm thinking I'll push through, walk until about midnight. That, you know, that would get me most of the way there, I reckon. I'll see how I go. I'm gonna take a break. I don't want to risk any blisters, so I'm gonna take the boots off for a quick 15 and stretch the old toesies, set them piggies free. Yeah, anyway, Captain Australia signing out. All the best, everybody.
G'day everyone, Captain Australia here. I am in Underwood Central, which is the home of the big everything. I don't know if you can see behind me. Up on the roof, obscured by my banner, is a big bloody cow. The big cow. And over here we have a big balloon. And there's a big mortar artillery. And down there's a big golf ball, if you can see it. I think you can sort of see it there somewhere. Where are we? Big golf ball. There. Now you sort of see it. Sorry, I am still learning. I'm learning all of this stuff, and the why is very simple. It's in the service of a charity called the Kids Cancer Project. I mean, look, there are 3 whys, but that's the biggest one. So the facts of pediatric cancer, they appall me. They offend me. Not like I'm offended because somebody used a bad word, but when you see something that just shouldn't be, you know, like, I don't know, just something that is outright drastically wrong, like eating a baby or something. There was a movie where some dude ate a baby, which I found the very idea appalling. But yeah, the idea of pediatric cancer offends me at the same level, and I know firsthand what cancer is like. So I had a stage 4 cancer myself, and it crippled me. It took me to the very edge. And the big walk is also about that. It's about, you know, life isn't always puppy dogs and rainbows. It can be wonderful, it can be joyful, but it's not always. And the big walk is about, no matter how hard you get ground down, no matter what the problem is, you can stand up and start moving forward. So it's about my personal healing. So number 1, service to the charity. Number 2, fixing myself. And the third thing, which I'm only just discovering it, and I love it, it's wonderful, is the inspiration. So I think most of it comes from, I made this video that showed me at my absolute most broken. It's on YouTube. It's called Walking Towards Hope, okay? It's cringy. I can't watch it without feeling just ashamed and embarrassed. But I put it up there to share because it shows rock bottom. It clearly articulates what that looks like. And then it shows me 30 days later, after just touching a little spark of hope. And then, you know, another 30 days after that, or I think at the 90-day mark. And I'll add to it in a month or so, you know, get them mad rock hard abs, yo. So I was 140 kilos at the start, and I'm like 97 now, something like that. So I've put on a bit of weight after I started eating again, but it's starting to melt off me again now that I'm doing these long walks, which is great. And that's just an outward symptom of hope. You know, you gain weight, you lose the colour in your skin and the pep in your step. That's hope being gone. But it's available to come back, and that's what thing number 3 is for me, to be able to show that, like, starkly broken, fixed. And I've already been getting messages back from people about that's powerful, that's something worth telling. And like when I was at the darkest part of the cancer, I couldn't have imagined that sweetness would be available to me, that I could help people, that I could be of service. So being of service to the charity, I've wrapped a lot of my healing up in that. But I'm finding that I can be of service to you. You know, that we're just one big jumbled tribe, and we can, you know, lift each other up, that we can be kind to each other, and that counteracts all the hate and the xenophobia and the fear and the wrongness that you see in the world. And that's wonderful. And oh, I've got a message. Sorry, let me just see. Tony Bowen, just drove past you at Underwood. Legend, keep up the amazing work. This is awesome what you're doing. Mate, thank you. That's awesome. Thanks very much. And that's exactly what I'm saying. The idea that I am just a useless old fool. I think I'm smart. I think my best attribute is that I'm smart, and I do have heart. I do. I will stand up for you if you need it. I will. But aside from that, I'm just an ordinary person, you know. And the idea that I and you, we can give that. Oh, I'm going to limbo under a tree here. Oh, limbo, 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 la. Sorry, I'm going off on like a ramble, aren't I? Oh, look, check this out. I walked past a boating, camping, fishing store. They sold me this solar charger. It's wonderful. So when I went to Wellington Point, on the way back, the phone died. And me, Boofhead that I am, I just didn't have a solution. Now I got infinite juice. It's great. But yeah, look, I try to do something that's good. You see that, you're kind back to me, and it's this feedback loop that is, I think, essential to us turning things around, making the world better, getting past all of this ego bullshit. You know, you've got like cult of the personality at the moment where everybody's, you know, look at me, ooh, I'm the prettiest, I'm the best. But what we need to be the best at is connecting and sharing and you know, helping one another, lifting one another up. Anyway, I've been walking for 6.5 hours, okay? So I'm lonely, so I'm getting chatty, okay? And plus I may have heat stroke. But this is not a nervous breakdown. This is not a midlife crisis. I'm trying to help a very important charity, and if you can help me do that, please. You don't have to. If you get something from this, it is my gift to you. If it makes you smile, that is my gift to you. If it makes you feel superior, like, look at that dickhead, that is my gift to you as well. Whatever it is, take it. But if you can help raise some money for this charity, please, and thank you. And I am at risk of just rambling on and on, so I'll leave the stream there, but I'll update. I think I'll probably update next. That's about 3 hours away from where I am now. I expect to make the Gold Coast by 2:30 in the morning. I'm going to power through, so I'm not going to sleep rough, although when I walk down to Melbourne I absolutely will be sleeping rough. Tonight I'm just going to power through. You know, I'll take little breaks here and there. I've got a couple of blisters on my feet, but yeah, for me, you got to understand, in December I couldn't walk 3 kilometers, okay, or I could, but oh shit, it hurt. The day that I first decided to take hope and try and grow it, I did. That night I said, I'm ashamed of myself, and I can't live like this. I can't let my children see me live like this. If the cancer comes back for me, it comes back for me. That's outside my control. But I appear to have beat it, but it's rope-a-doped me, it's tricked me. It didn't succeed in taking my life, but it's tried to suck the hope right out of me. And that night I walked, and I walked as far as I could. And how far was that? That was 3 kilometers. Yeah. And I was in such pain. Like clinically obese. I know I don't look great now, but give me a month and I'll be showing you them rock hard mad abs, yo. And yeah, in terms of what I've done today and what I will have done by the end of the day, early tomorrow morning, I'll have walked 90 kilometers-ish. I think that's great. I'm really pleased with that. I know I'm not an athlete. I know it's probably, you know, anyone could do it, but once you do walking over distance, I mean, you have to let your mind go somewhere else. There's a mental discipline to it, and I'm really pleased with myself. Like I'm a little bit proud of myself. I haven't finished yet, so maybe I'm jumping the gun. Anyway, sorry, we've got another So thanks so much for watching. I want to recognize you, and a person's most useful asset is not a head full of knowledge, but a heart full of love, an ear ready to listen, and a hand willing to help others. Well, that's just beautiful. I agree completely with that, Dan. Like, I think that human beings are at their best when we look at each other and we see kin, you know, and all of the isms, the racism, religious separation, like whatever it is that pulls us apart. I think they're evil's not the right word, but they're the enemy, they're the adversary. And I think that wanting to help, that's a beautiful quote. Yeah, thank you for sharing it. And I think that's fundamental. And I've made mistakes, as we all have. I don't rate myself as a great person. I'm just trying to do the right thing, and I'm trying to be good, but I don't have, you know, the abilities of other people. So I'm just having a crack. And I think that's what redeems me. You know, that's what says that I'm a viable human being again. The cancer's done because I want to help. And if you do too, that's wonderful. That's wonderful, mate. But yeah, look, I'm going to ramble and riggedy ramble. Do you want to hear a rap? No, I can't rap. I am the world's worst rapper. And yet for some reason, I feel compelled daily to launch into it. It's actually a great parenting tool, rap. So my son, my eldest son, love him. I'd walk through fire for that kid. He is a wonderful boy. He's in high school, grade 7. And I don't have to, be stern with him or tell him what to do. If there's any behavior that's a bit off the reservation, all I have to do is say, oh, I'm going to become a professional YouTube rapper. Bang. He's like, oh, no, Dad, don't do that. And I'm like, well, I guess if you need help with your homework, I won't have time. Bang, that's parenting, like, masterclass, I suppose. I'm going to have to end the stream because I'm not sure exactly where I'm going. I don't want to accidentally walk onto the motorway, so I'm going to have to check my maps. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll check in again when I get to Eagleby, which is probably about 35 more K down the road. See you later. Captain Australia signing out. Yeah, it's me again. This is actually just going to be a video purely for my own personal use. I'm learning what I can and can't do with the technology, so if you happen to stumble in on this, feel free. But it's just me walking through Brisbane. I'm going to see if I can play some music while I do it and hook it up to the solar power, so while I can do it without using batteries. So it's a bit of a equipment test, so just bear with me and ignore it if you have no interest in watching, which is a silly thing to say because of course you would. Okay, so there's the camera. I'm just going to run across this road and I'll see if I can get some. Okay, so I can have music or streaming, but not music and streaming. Let me double check that. It comes. Yep, music or streaming, not music and streaming. Okay, you can ignore this little stream, just a little test. Okay, just quick update. So I'm at Shayla Park. I've found this lovely little park in Shayla Park with a creek, and I'm going to sit by this pleasant little creek. There's ducks splashing around, and I need to rest my feet for probably 20 minutes. There was a lovely fellow who wanted to meet up and show me to his kids, which I'm still very keen to do. That's at Eagleby, which is about 9 kilometers from here, so still a little bit of a walk. Look at that lovely creek, isn't that nice? Soothing. I am going to sit and rest my feet. I need to get these boots off just for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Let my piggies free, let them breathe. So yeah, I think your name was Dan, mate. I can't remember offhand. That's what chemo does to your brain. Buddy, I anticipate 2 hours from 15 minutes from now. So I'm not sure, I can't tell the time in this stream, but I'll be there in about 2 hours and 15 minutes, which will probably be a bit close to dinner time. So if that messes up your plans, I really apologise. I got caught up with a film crew this morning. So they were pushing me around, go here, go there, up, down, left, right, Captain Australia, turn there, smile, look brave, look silly. But it was fun, but it slowed me down a little bit. So I'm a bit behind schedule. A couple of hours, buddy, and I will be at Eagleby. I expect to be at the Gold Coast probably 2 AM or so. I might take a big rest somewhere like Dreamworld, and just because I got a couple of blisters on my feet, and it is very foolish to walk with blisters. They'll just get worse. I mean, they'll callus over eventually, but you foolish old man, what are you doing? Okay, very intimate little picnic with Captain Australia. So, hey baby, what's up? Do you like ants in your crack? I don't know what's wrong with me. Quite a lot, I suppose. Yeah, so Shayla Park. This is a lovely little park. If this were part of my big walk, I could very easily take a few hour nap here, I reckon. It's very very peaceful and serene. I mean, a lot of traffic over there, but traffic all day. Yeah, so, there's people watching. Hello, people watching. So I am walking from Brisbane to the Gold Coast today. I left at 7 o'clock this morning. I see a question. Where are you now, mate? I am at Shayla Park. So I'm walking on secondary roads like Logan Road, adjacent to the Pacific Motorway. So I'm not even at the halfway point yet. Sort of getting there. So I am not walking at my peak speed now. I think I've slowed down to about 4k an hour or something because I've got blisters on my foot. But I will power through. So I'm just going to, actually, while I'm jibber-jabbering, I should have torn my boots off. Now I've got this magic selfie stick here, which is actually a stand. I can talk to you and show you my filthy feet, which you'll be no doubt fascinated to see. Let me just, here we are. Whoops, might have lost you for a second there. So Shayla Park, and I'm headed to Eagleby to meet a fella and his young kids, and they may want me to do backflips or dance monkey dance. How's that? Look at that, lovely. Oh, look at that enormous gut. So I was 140 kilograms in December. Now I'm 95. So I am ashamed by my enormous gut, but it's actually a massive achievement as well. So I don't know. I think that's called ambivalence, where you feel both good and bad about something, or have mixed feelings or something. So Shayla Park, I will leave after a 15-minute. Oh, this is going to be gross. I got blisters on my foot. I might kill the stream. You don't want to see my blisters, do you? If you want to see my blisters, say yes, and I will not kill the stream. 3, 2, 1. There you go. You don't want to see my blisters. All right. Yeah, so I will stream again when I get to Eagleby, and then Dreamworld, and then the coast. So I'm going to achieve the goal I set out to achieve. It's a 90-kilometre walk in one day. Well, you know, an overnight, I guess. And in the Gold Coast, I hope I don't get bashed by drunk young people. I'm a little bit scared. Well, I could always hit them with my selfie stick. Anyway, this is what cancer survival looks like, and my main message is please support the Kids Cancer Project, and you will be directly funding research into paediatric cancers. 950 Aussie kids a year are diagnosed with cancer, kills more children than any other disease. 200 of the kids diagnosed will not survive treatment. Terrible stuff, and I know what it looks like when you do survive treatment. So I'm actually thriving for somebody who has survived cancer treatment. And look at me. I'm 49 years old. 49 years old. My hair 4 years ago was brown. Oh, look at that. So, is that a 49-year-old fella? Don't think so. So that's chemotherapy, and it's a gift that keeps giving. But can't complain. Very happy, pushed through, and came completely out the other side of the tunnel. And the message is, I did that, you can too. So anybody, if you know somebody who is suffering, they have some dark adversary they can't beat, it doesn't have to be cancer, anxiety, depression, COVID isolationitis, whatever it is, the message is you can overcome it, but you have to find hope. For me, hope was the fundamental thing, the most important thing. Walking to the Gold Coast, I think for an old fella dressed as a superhero carrying a banner, that's an achievement. 90 kilometres is a good solid walk, but it's not strength, it's not a resilience of character. I'm not an athlete, and I'm not a good walker. The reason I can do any of it is hope. So hope gives you this belief that in possibilities, and I felt that I could be of service to a charity, do my big Boofhead big walk, and so far, well, I am, I guess. Good, bad, or indifferent. I hope it goes well. Hope to raise a lot of money. And now I'm going to rip these boots off and have a little bit of a 20-minute rest, I reckon. Set them piggies free. So I'll let you go. Maybe we could meet you somewhere close to where you are now and then walk home to Eagleby. Might be getting a bit dark. Oh, okay. Sorry, mate. That's the chap, Dan. So I was right, Dan. That's you, buddy. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry that I'm behind schedule, mate. I would like to say despite best efforts, but I did take a little bit of a 15-minute break as well back at I don't know where, somewhere. Buddy, I can do whatever you want. In terms of getting to Eagleby, yeah, it'd be 5:30 or something, whatever it is now. I'm more than happy to dress up like a goofy superhero, meet you kids, and hopefully give them a strange and exotic memory to carry forward. Yeah, yeah. I'm ashamed of myself. No, I'm pretty proud of myself. Oh, I just got a text from my eldest son. Am hang out at school. Kids can't talk these days. Yeah, so I don't know, mate. Do you want to? I'm at Shayla Park right now. I'm guessing you've got wheels. That just creates a logistical hassle too. Like if you want to bring your kids, there's a park across the street. If you want to bring your kids there, I can toddle over from my woodland copse and just surprise you. Oh, it's Captain Australia! Or further down the road. But yeah, it's 9 kilometres from where I am now to Eagleby according to the map. So that'll be, at the pace I'm walking now, a couple of hours. And I do need to rip these boots off and just get some air into the blisters. So what would you like to do? Well, if you're happy to take the kids to a park, buddy, it's I don't know. Do you know it's Shayla Park? I can show you where. There's these tennis courts and the skate park across the road. That's the freeway there, and over that side, across this little side road is I can look at the map. I can give you better. The stream may stop, but I'll. Sorry, mate. I don't know if I vanished on you there. So I'm at Shayla Pioneer Park, or that's the one across the road. I don't know how young your little ones are, but and if you've ever gone to this particular playground before, but it looks like there's a nice little kiddie park over there, a big slide and a few other bits and pieces. So if that works for you, you can just pull up and I'll wander on over in 20 minutes and give you a wave. I see your picture there, so I should recognise you, and you'll definitely recognise me. Does that work? I just realised this whole thing is going to be saved and recorded too. Perfect. Hang tight. Be there in 20. Cool, mate. I'm going to rip my boots off and just lay back and get some breeze. When you pull up, can you Facebook message me? That'll be the easiest thing. Yeah, if you can just drop me a quick message, it'll beep on my phone. If I happen to doze off, I'll get myself together and wander over to the park and say good day. All cool? All right, buddy. I look forward to hopefully amusing and not frightening your children. All right, buddy. All the best. So I'll see you in about 20. Cheers. Oh dear, you cannot see me at all. Hang on. That's not much better. I'm sorry, I have not updated in a while. So I've been hanging out with this chap Dan that I met online. He has these two lovely sons, young kids, 6 and 7, or 5 and 7. And they wanted to meet Captain Australia, so they did, and we've been walking along. So I've gained some ground, but very slowly. So I'm still 44 kilometers away from the Gold Coast. It is, I should have checked the time. I think 6:37, maybe after 7. So I've still got probably 9 more hours of walking to go. Reasonably behind the intended schedule, but that's no big deal because this isn't an athletic contest. If it is, it's a contest of stamina, and I'm having to reach inside myself to walk these kind of distances in my condition, but I'm getting stronger all the time. Like the commercial used to say, I'm getting better all the time. I've got this super great solar charger, which now is useless, being full dark, but my device is at 100% and my power bank is at 100%, so I'm good for battery. So right now I'm at Eagleby, or near Eagleby, which is pretty much, I think, the halfway point to the coast. So I've been walking all day. I had 2 short breaks, 15 minutes, and I guess that it's a 12-hour walk. And now I'm going to press forward, do another couple of hours. I don't feel the need to eat. I've got an ample reserve, so I'm going to just draw on that, I think, and I'll do another stream in a couple of hours because I need to do story time. I'm going to read a chapter of a book for my kids. I think it's Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory, so if you want to see the Boofhead superhero Captain Australia do Captain Australia's story time and read a chapter of Willy Wonka, then tune in. That'll be about 8:30. For now, I'm just going to do some pretty serious walking, see if I can get some pace up, cover a few Ks. All right, cheers, all the best. Eagleby, halfway. Bye.
G'day, Captain Australia. I hope you can hear me all right. As you can see, I have found a lovely tree and I am having a bit of a rest because I am tired. So I've been walking since 7 o'clock this morning and it's 8:30 now. I've had a couple of breaks and I've met some lovely people, and it's been a all in all, very nice day and productive. So I've learned that when I do my big walk, I will be able to escape pretty easily to the Gold Coast in one day. I'm not there yet. I'm still about 30 or so kilometres away. But I got blisters on the feet. So I've stuffed up that side of things. Just too eager to get it done. And I'm now going to rest up for a bit and just do the remainder in little steps and make sure my feet don't get any worse. And then I'll ride the train back home. So I'll stream later when I get to the Gold Coast and let you know. But for now, I will be reading to my children. And if you have any kids or if you enjoy a story, we're just going to do a chapter or 2 of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So feel free to watch. Otherwise, this is for my boys. I meant to buy a book light, and I am a forgetful old fool, so I'm using my mag light. Okay, here we go. Chapter 1, Here Comes Charlie. Now this is by the author Roald Dahl, who's made a bunch of iconic books. There's a new movie on Netflix of a book of his called The Witches, which is a very creepy book about these creatures, witches, that like to eat and kill little children. I don't know how his works age, whether the contemporary politics are a problem with this particular author, and if they are, you can't retroactively apply a standard to something that was done in the past, so you just have to use it to illuminate. Hello, we got someone. Yep, good night. Cheers. Yeah, I don't suppose you want to stick around for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah, I've almost successfully got to the Gold Coast. So thanks for checking in. Cheers. So this is Here Comes Charlie, and we have an illustration. I don't know how well you can see that, boys. These two very old people are the father and mother of Mr. Bucket. Their names are Grandpa Joe and Grandma Josephine. And these two very old people, you can see there, crap, I need a book light. And these two very old people are the father and mother of Mrs. Bucket. Their names are Grandpa George and Grandma Georgina. And this is Mr. Bucket. This is Mrs. Bucket. Mr. and Mrs. Bucket have a small boy whose name, can you guess, is Charlie Bucket. This is Charlie. How do you do? And how do you do? And how do you do again? He is pleased to meet you. The whole of this family, the 6 grown-ups, count them, and the little Charlie Bucket live together in a small wooden house on the edge of a great town. So it's a bit of a run-down shack. The house wasn't nearly large enough for so many people, and life was extremely uncomfortable for them all. There were only 2 rooms in the place altogether, and there was only 1 bed. The bed was given to the 4 old grandparents because they were so old and so tired, just like Captain Australia. They were so tired that they never got out of it. Grandpa Joe and Grandma Josephine on this side, Grandpa George and Grandma Georgina on this side. Mr. and Mrs. Bucket and little Charlie Bucket slept in the other room upon mattresses on the floor. Well, at least they have love in their house if they don't have money. In the summertime, it wasn't too bad, but in the winter, freezing cold drafts blew across the floor all night long, and it was awful. There wasn't any question of them being able to buy a better house or even 1 more bed to sleep in. They were far too poor for that. Mr. Bucket was the only person in the family with a job. He worked in a toothpaste factory, where he sat all day long at a bench and screwed little caps on the tops of the tubes of toothpaste after the tubes had been filled. Sounds great. But a toothpaste cap screwer is never paid very much money, and poor Mr. Bucket, however hard he worked and however fast he screwed on the caps, was... Pardon me, I do not have COVID, that's a cancer side effect. The head and neck radiation messed with my saliva, so I cough if I don't drink. A toothpaste cap screwer is never paid very much money, and poor Mr. Bucket, however hard he worked and however fast he screwed on the caps, was never able to make enough money to buy 1/2 of the things that so large a family needed. There wasn't even enough money to buy proper food for them all. The only meals they could afford were bread and margarine for breakfast, boiled potatoes and cabbage for lunch, and cabbage soup for supper. Sundays were a bit better. They all looked forward to Sundays because then, although they had exactly the same, everyone was allowed a second helping. The Buckets, of course, didn't starve, but every one of them, the 2 old grandfathers, the 2 old grandmothers, Charlie's father, Charlie's mother, and especially little Charlie himself, went about from morning till night with a horrible empty feeling in their tummies. Charlie felt it worst of all, and although his father and mother often went without their own share of lunch or supper so that they could give it to him, it still wasn't nearly enough for a growing boy. He desperately wanted something more filling and satisfying than cabbage and cabbage soup. The one thing he longed for more than anything else was chocolate. Walking to school in the mornings, Charlie could see great slabs of chocolate piled up high in the shop windows, and he'd stop, and he'd stare, and he'd press his nose against the glass, his mouth watering like mad. Many times a day, he would see other children taking bars of creamy chocolate out of their pockets and munching them greedily. And that, of course, was pure torture. But once a year, on his birthday, Charlie Bucket, he got to taste a bit of chocolate. The whole family saved up their money for that special occasion. And when the great day arrived, Charlie was always presented, pardon me, with one small chocolate bar to eat all by himself. And each time he received it, on those marvelous birthday mornings, he would place it carefully in a small wooden box that he owned and treasure it as though it were a bar of solid gold. And for the next few days, he would allow himself only to look at it, but never to touch it. Then, at last, when he could stand it no longer, he'd peel back a tiny bit of the paper wrapping, just at this corner, to expose a tiny bit of chocolate. And then he would take a tiny nibble, just enough to allow the lovely sweet taste to spread out slowly over his tongue. The next day, he'd take another tiny nibble, and so on, and so on. And in this way, Charlie would make his sixpenny bar of birthday chocolate last him for more than a month. But I haven't told you about the one awful thing that tortured little Charlie, this lover of chocolate, more than anything else. This thing, for him, was far, far worse than seeing slabs of chocolate in the shop windows or watching other children munching bars of creamy chocolate right in front of him. It was the most terrible, torturing thing you could imagine. And it was this. In the town itself, actually within sight of the house in which Charlie lived, was the enormous chocolate factory. Just imagine that. And it wasn't simply an ordinary enormous chocolate factory either. It was the largest and most famous in the whole world. It was Wonka's factory, owned by a man called Mr. Willy Wonka, the greatest inventor and maker of chocolates that there ever has been. And what a tremendous, marvelous place it was. It had huge iron gates leading into it, and a high wall surrounding it, and smoke belching up from its chimneys, and strange whizzing sounds coming from deep inside it. And outside the walls, for half a mile around in every direction, the air was scented with the heavy, rich smell of melting chocolate. Twice a day, on his way to and from school, little Charlie Bucket had to walk right past the gates of the factory. And every time he went by, he'd begin to walk very, very slowly. He'd hold his nose high in the air, take long, deep sniffs of the gorgeous chocolatey smell all around him. Oh, how he loved that smell. And oh, how he wished he could go inside the factory and see what it was like. And the next chapter is Mr. Willy Wonka's factory, which we'll do next time. So, here I am, 30 kilometers or so away from my destination. So still lamentably a good 6 hours. I think my pace has slowed a little bit, regrettably. I'm just not that athletic. I'm continuously losing weight, but I'm an older person. And although I've dropped all the way down from 140 kilos in December, I'm still a bit heavy around the middle. I'm carrying all this gear and I've got my blisters. So I normally can do about 6K an hour, or 5 if I'm slowing down, but now I think I'm down around 4. And every K you slow down, it really adds to the amount of time it takes to get anywhere. So I'm going to invest in a bit of a rest and maybe have another little half hour of I don't know if I'll quite nap, but I'll have a little doze, and hopefully I'm right near the Beanley Tavern so I can hear the music. I don't know if you can. Yeah, so thank you for your interest. If you're watching this now or at some future date, it's Captain Australia's Big Walk, and it's all for the Kids Cancer Project. So I have 3 priorities, and the first is that. It's just to help that charity. So the Kids Cancer Project is a science-oriented charity. So they focus on the research behind solving pediatric cancers. The grim reality of it is, like, I've suffered cancer, stage 4. It was horrible. Okay, I as a grown man was crippled by it, and I've only been able to lift myself up and find hope. And it's hard for me to articulate how. But a child, average age of 6, should not have to face that. 950 Aussie kids are diagnosed every year. Okay? 200 of them won't survive treatment. So, and the ones that do, they're left with problems like I have. I sometimes wake choking, face spasms, all kinds of grim gross, horrible problems. So it's an important charity. If you can find it in your heart, look at the first post on the Facebook page, or go to captainaustralia.online, and on the homepage you'll see there's a donate button that will take you to the Raisley page controlled by the Kids Cancer Project. You can make a donation. I ask you to do that if you can find it in your heart. If you can't, understood. Please do it. You could spread the word about the fundraiser. Really appreciate that. Yeah, but that's my primary goal. The second is my own healing. So I took a big walk as a child, Brisbane to Sydney. I was 15 years old, just leaving a bad situation. And I needed to feel that again, that sense of escape and hope, recovery, growth, evolution, moving forward. And I've been able to grab it, which is tremendous. So that reason is purely a selfish reason. And the last is that I'm discovering that these wonderful reactions to the story. So in showing myself at my raw, vulnerable, most broken, and that I was able to lift myself up and turn it around, and I'm just some goofy old dude, then it means you can too. Doesn't have to be cancer. Whatever the problem is, you can overcome it. You can take your own big walk, stand up, and you reach out for hope. You figure out that direction for you. So for me, it was walking. That simple. And that might help you as well. It is good. Might be something else. It might be therapy. I don't know. Whatever it is, though, see the train wreck that I was and the slightly less of a train wreck that I am. And take from that. I think that's my third goal. It's to leave some kind of a path. And I want to leave a intriguing, strange, adventurous story for my children. I managed to survive a grim, horrible battle with cancer. I want to celebrate that. So I want to just go out into the world, and I want my kids to see that. I want to leave that for them. So these streams, a percentage of that is just purely for that purpose. That one day down the track, my adult children may look at it and know that their dad loved them more than anything in the world. So I'm going to rest now, and then I'm going to continue till I get to the Gold Coast, and I will stream to show you that I did. Of course, you don't know if I'm not toddling off, getting in a Volvo and, faking all the rest, but I think people have seen me walking down the road. So anyway, I'm authentic. I'm completely for real. Whatever other issues I have at play, I'm not interested in lying or playing games. So I am interested in maybe a little dozy nap, and Yadala is where I'm at, and I'll get to Nerang in 6.5 hours after I start walking, after I finish my nap. I'm very fatigued, but I'm very pleased with the progress too. I'm an older Boofhead. I think I've done okay. Anyway, thanks very much. Captain Australia, Simon, signing out. All the best. Bye.
G'day. Let me see if I can get a little bit of light. 1 second. Don't know if this is going to work or not. Let's see. Oh, emojis. Don't want any emojis. I think I touched the wrong button. I'm sorry, you can't see much, and I have not practiced how to make it so that you can. Hang on, here we go. No, it doesn't do anything. There's a light button that does not do anything. I don't know if you can see. I am whirling around. You can see nothing. I'm in the middle of nowhere, which is nice actually. Walking down a lonely road in the middle of the night, it's good. But I have a problem, and even though you cannot see me, I think I can still share my problem with you. Captain Australia has a problem, and it's one that does not get talked about much in stories, literature. Spider-Man doesn't have to deal with it. Frodo and his mates going off to cast the Ring of Doom into that Mount Volcano and save all Middle Earth and all that. They didn't have to deal with it. You see, I'm sort of starting to feel as though I might need to do a little poo. I can't think of any story really where that comes up, to be honest. So I'm just thought I'd stream and update. In about 4 hours I think I'll get to Nerang, which is right near Broadbeach on the Gold Coast, and I'll probably just pitch camp there. There's a train station there, and depending on whether my legs sort of clench up or they cooperate, I might spend a little bit of time around sunrise, you know, go down to the beach or something. I might just hop a train back. I'm pretty tired. But yeah, it's a lovely country road. No cars, no nothing, very dark. And you cannot see me, but hopefully you can hear me. It's kind of a lonely Friday night, sort of a sing on a country road kind of moment, really. I am not a very good singer. I wish Facebook could just let us have a little karaoke party or something. But since I'm trying to suppress the urge to poo, I'm gonna sing a song. So let me think, what's a nice song for a dark country road? Okay, Jennifer, this song is for you, my sweetheart. Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Suzanne, the plans they made put an end to you. I walked out this morning and I wrote down this song. I just can't remember who to send it to. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Been walking my mind through an easy time, my back turned towards the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn your head around. And as I wasted time on the telephone line, talk about things to come. Sweet dreams and flying machines in pieces on the ground. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times that I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Won't you look down upon me, Jesus? You gotta help me make a stand. You just got to see me through another day. My body's aching and my time is at hand. I won't make it any other way. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you, baby, one more time again now. Thought I'd see you one more time again. Bit sore, I'm going slower, I think. So my normal pace across a reasonably distanced walk is about 5k an hour. Not too athletic, not too impressive, but I can go for ages. But yeah, now I'm probably back down to 4. Oh, here comes a car. First in, I don't know, 4k, 5k. I better just sort of move over so they don't run me over. Lesson learnt that I'll need more visibility stuff, reflectors on the front and back. That's all right. Any problem that you survive becomes a lesson. So lesson learned. Walking down a dark country road, nobody around. Yibbity yibbity skibbity. Captain Australia's Big Walk, 26 December. Gonna walk from Brisbane to Melbourne. And I'm beginning to think we should have called it Captain Australia's Big Uber. That probably would have been a bit kinder on me poor old feet. I've got blisters. Let's sing a song. What's a nice cringy song? None of you people would. Lying in my bed, I hear the clock tick and think of you. caught up in circles. Confusion is nothing new. Flashback, warm lights, always left behind. Suitcase around me, time after some time. You picture me, I'm walking too far ahead. You're calling to me, I can't hear what you said. You say, go slow and fall behind. The second hand unwinds. I'm gonna have to cross over because there's a big truck coming directly towards me and don't want him to feel too grumpy. Here, there's a grass shoulder on this side. Oh, look, you can see me. Hello! Hey! As you can see in that brief flash of light, I have removed my big magic banner, my Captain Australia hood, the gear around the utility belt. It's now strapped around my shoulder. I'm substantially more comfortable, but for me poor old feet. I would like to set them piggies free again, but I want to put in, I think, another 3 hours. From there it'll be just one last jaunt. So in 3 hours I'll give myself another good rest and then head in the rest of the way and then maybe nap till the sun comes up. Yeah, all in all I think that, yeah, look, anybody could do what I'm doing today. It's a 90k walk. It's not, you know, it's not some magnificent achievement, but it's been tough. It's required mental toughness of me, and I'm proud of myself. And I think the most valuable lesson is I've been really sort of, you know, ruminating over that first day of the big walk, because it would suck to sleep under a bridge within shouting distance of your home, where your children are, you know, there saying, you know, where's my dad? What's going on? And so, you know, if I do a big jaunt, I can completely get all the way down to the Gold Coast, or I can, you know, stage it so I get in the late evening, pre-Gold Coast, and then continue from there. Look at that wanker. Absolute moron, mate. It's pathetic. You equate the engine on a car purchased by you to your masculine power or something, you pathetic loser. Sorry, I don't mean to rant, but there's a lot of these drag races around at the moment. And it's just lame. You know, I mean, I think, okay, violence is lame. Drunken fights are lame, but by contrast to these dickheads, I mean, I'll respect a drunken altercation and a bit of a outside the pub, you know, gentlemanly fist fight to sort it out. That is stupid, but it's worlds ahead of the category of stupid these morons are in. It's just a matter of time till they kill themselves or someone else. And killing yourself, that's your prerogative, but, you know, I guess I've always been bothered by people who have a disdain for life, for the safety of others, because in my mind there's nothing more sacred, you know? We can be kind and good and decent, and we can be a connected tribe, but then you just get these, it's like a cancer in a healthy body. These, I was going to say Boofhead, but I'm a Boofhead, and they give Boofheads a bad name. So, oh hello, someone watching. G'day. So this is Captain Australia, or rather Simon, and I'm approaching some light now, so you can actually see me. I am in the middle of nowhere, about 30-something K from the Gold Coast, and today, so I've been walking since 7 AM with a couple of little breaks, and today I will have walked overall close to 90, I think. I'll calculate it when I get home. And I was just in this lovely dark road until some drag racing people came along and, I don't know, showed how big their engines are. And I was just having a little bit of a sing and a little bit of a chit chat. So I don't have anything much on my mind, and I don't know if you already know who I am or do not. In case you do not, my name is Simon. I dress up as the Boofhead superhero Captain Australia. I've done that for many years in the past. Why did I do it? Okay, the story starts earlier than that. So when I was 15, I left home. I walked from Brisbane to Sydney. It was to escape a bad domestic situation. I slept under bridges. My goal was to evade the police and foster care and go and live with my grandmother, who I've been thinking about all day, because what I'm doing now, the Gold Coast walk, is the first leg of that walk that I did then. So I think of Judith, my grandmother, with great love and remembrance today, because her death was, more than 30 years ago. But all of these familiar sort of situations are bringing her back to me, and that's such a gift, especially after my own sort of fight with cancer and whatnot. But yeah, so I left home. I walked from Brisbane to Sydney. It took me 27 days, if I remember correctly. I didn't get all the way. I got to Gloucester, which is like a township, I'll say 100 and something K out of Sydney. And I wound up at the train station there, and my feet were bleeding. I was covered in, I looked like I was Indigenous. My skin was so dark. I've lived in Indigenous communities for a little while when I was little, and I have a great love for the larrikinship of it. I sometimes think I should have chosen to go north and head through Northern Territory and see what's up. But yeah, I was filthy, I was bleeding, and I had 50 cents left of the $12 or whatever that I started out with. So I called my grandmother, and she called the train station, and she bullied the hell out of him. Like, no, this is a minor child. He's at risk. He's in the middle of nowhere, and he's walked like 850 kilometers, and you are taking him into your care, seeing him on the next train. I will wire you the money. Whatever we need to do, we'll work it out, but you're getting this child to me. And that's how my grandmother was. She was a stern and silent woman, but she had in her such kindness and a willingness to help other people, and I adored her. I mean, she just, it's hard to characterize. Like, my grandfather used to routinely beat the crap out of her, and when I got down there, it forced a peace between them, which was really possibly the best thing in my young life, the fact that I could stop that violence just by my presence, discourage it. But yeah, I walked to Sydney, and when I took that walk, it was adventure and it was hope. It was like leaving the hospital room where I thought I was doomed to die, because my life as it was just terrible. I won't go into it. There was just drugs and violence and narcissism, and it was not good. So I escaped, and when I got cancer, so next step was Captain Australia. I was just a corporate dude, sales guy actually. So, well, e-commerce, so smart. I've just always had a brain on me, I guess. So I was able to kind of muddle my way through corporate Australia, climb the ladder, get a good job, find love, get married, and be happy, have children who are the absolute lights in my life. And I found this point in my life where everything was great, but it wasn't. There was this underlying, and you probably sense it. You'll know what I'm saying. This growing sense of hatred and cruelty and ethical blind ignorance, and I couldn't abide it. And I thought, it just sprung into my mind, I'm going to be a superhero. I didn't know there were people around the world who did it. So I'm gonna be Captain Australia. Built a costume, or rather my wife Jennifer helped me. I always remember when she was sewing it, she said, look, you don't have a cape. Simon, how are you going to fly? I don't think she understood the whole thing very well. But yeah, the Captain Australia, I spent 5 years, I think, doing that. Just, I don't know how to characterize it really. Part mission, part hobby. I'd go around patrolling the city, and I think everybody thought I was Batman, but I didn't. I just met homeless people, I gave them food, replaced stolen bikes. It was just like a random act of kindness thing more than anything else. But I stopped it when my middle son, Sullivan, he's such a wonderful boy. Sorry, I tear up. Cancer has either brought me more in tune with or less in control of my emotions. So Sully, he got sick. He was hurting himself, banging his head, and we figured out it was autism and just dropped everything. helped him, and he's thriving today. He's doing so well. And that stopped the Captain Australia experiment back then. And you know, blah blah blah, fast forward, I got cancer. It was a stage 4 squamous cell carcinoma, head and neck cancer. It was invasive. It had progressed to my local lymph nodes on either side of my neck, and the doctor, when he was telling me how sorry he was, suggested I should tidy up my affairs. They estimated 6 months to live, and there was a chance at curative treatment. At first we thought it was as low as 40%, but it got a little bit better. There's wonderful things that help your chance of recovery from cancer. I mean, outlook probably plays a part, but there's if you have a nagging spouse, you are something like 2.3% more likely to survive a cancer, because they even though the stress might contribute to the disease, the nagging means you're more compliant with your treatment, you're more aggressive, you don't give up, you don't say, oh, head in the sand, I can't face it. So I had all these advantages as well. And yeah, I went through a horrible period of treatment, and it was as nasty as you could think it is. Multiply it, you know, like I remember I couldn't eat, so they had a surgical tube inserted into my stomach where I would feed myself, just like formula. And one time I put like blended mango in there just to know I was getting nutritious food, and I immediately vomited it up with like buckets of blood. My body went into sort of, I don't know, like shock from the sugar or something, because it had been in this bare subsistence mode for so long, I guess. So, you know, the treatments, you've got spasms, cramps, pain. And the thing that subsequently, as I started to fix myself up, the thing that bothered me ethically, spiritually, on every level, academically, like in just as a this fact is not acceptable, is that kids have to go through what I did. I saw a couple of times kids waiting for the radiotherapy, the same therapy that I was getting, the devastating therapies. And in 4 years, I just fell into a deep existential pit. So my thyroid was wrecked, destroyed by the radiation. So my metabolism slowed, I was sad, I was isolated, my business was murdered by COVID, and I was waiting to die, I think, in my heart. And I was able to, through the light of the love of my children and my wife, I was able to punish myself, chastise myself, and do my best to reach for hope. And that's what led me back to the thing I did as a kid. That sensation, that muscle memory of hope, of discovered possibilities. You know, before I did that walk, I had none. And in my dark pit of cancer, I had none, no hope, emptiness. I was bereft. And I just remembered it. And I started to get better that very day. I walked that night, 3 kilometers. Today, it'll be 90. But 3 kilometers, and it wrecked me. So I was clinically obese, and the pain was tremendous. But I did it the following night, and I pushed for 5. And then I pushed for 5 again the night after that, and I said, hang on, no. It has to be evolutionary. Stop, turn around. And I doubled what I did, and it killed me. And I kept killing myself, you know, but punishing myself isn't the right word, killing myself isn't the right word. It was like being my own slave master to lift myself out of the depression, and it was hope that allowed me to do that. It was that sense that positive outcomes are still available to me. And I think that's crucial in anybody's life. And subsequently, I've found people responding to that. So I made a video, it's on YouTube, it's called Walking Towards Hope. And it's me, big, broken, fat old me, turning it around. And it shows me coming out 30 days later, 90-day mark. And I will update it later on in the year as well, when, you know, I got rock hard abs, yo. And it's not the cosmetic result. I mean, weight loss is great, but it's just cosmetic. Being fat isn't necessarily bad unless it's a sign of some deeper problem. And for me, it was. And I'm able to show that me, just some old fool, can turn the ship around. And people are responding to that and going, well, I can too. One of the favourite moments in my older life is a comment I got from this guy. He just privately wrote me, and he said, like, I watched your video and I loved it, and it helped me nudge in the direction of respecting myself. And I haven't drank in 3 days, and I had drank every day for the last 5 years. And that anonymous person who's now dealing with his problems head on, if I just have a tiny piece of a role in that, I'm delighted. I'm fulfilled as a human being. It makes me so happy. And yeah, that journey towards hope is what it's about for me. But I then realized, and since then it's usurped it in importance. I just realized it's not just me walking. I should do this for a charity. I should do something big. And I thought about the Kids Cancer Project, researched them, all about science into resolving pediatric cancer. 950 children a year get cancer in Australia, and 200 of them die. They do not survive the treatment phase, and the rest suffer chronic health problems. So the idea that through effort we can mitigate that problem. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a researcher. I think I'm clever despite all the evidence against it. But if I can just put on a Boofhead superhero mask and walk around and have people see the big flag dangling behind me and go, wow, that's a great cause. And it's something like $62 represents one research hour. And yeah, it's a great charity. It's an important charity, and that's my other and primary motivation in doing what I'm doing. So here I am, 9:30, I guess, is my guess at the time. I'd been walking through this forest, no one around, singing to myself, and I started a stream up because I had a dilemma. And it's a problem that you don't see superheroes having. Spider-Man does not deal with it. Captain America does not deal with it. They have, as Freud would have said, an immaculate anus. But I had a need to poo. It's backed off now, so I think I'll get to a service station or some sort of an amenity and be able to take care of my problem. And it's one human beings do not discuss, and I apologise for mentioning it. But I found it a little bit funny, just that it is one of those things, like we all do it, but we don't discuss it. It's like when I'm dealing with the charity, I just have these weird thoughts. So the Kids Cancer Project, great charity, but there's so many great charities out there, and as I deal with them, I get this sense of competitiveness, like a charity mafia. The thing that troubles me is they're also slick. So these charities, they need the money in order to succeed in their mission, and in order to get the money they have to invest in marketing their charity. So they'll deal with like PR companies, they'll have their own in-house people whose role is just to talk people into donations. So they'll engage in a way that is, I won't say unauthentic, because the missions are sincere and true, but it's this inundation of, oh yeah, save the kids, make a wish, Ronald McDonald House, and all of that. And I guess the thing that I'm going to say is, I found it funny, the idea that they were competitive with one another, like a charity mafia. So you got the people at the Ronald McDonald House, and they're going, oh, those fun kids cancer people, they're up 8% because of that idiot Captain Australia. We've got to put a hit out on him, you know? And then the kids cancer people are going, God damn it, geriatric cancer's up 2 points. What are we going to do about that, people? People! Papa needs new shoes, you know? And that's just my mind, I suppose. As I walk, I'm going more and more mental, I guess. No, I'm not. I'm pretty sound, despite all the evidence to the contrary. And yeah, I've taken off all the Captain Australia gear. I'm still wearing the basic clothes of it. I've strapped my first aid kit, water bottle, this canteen, and utility stuff, all tactical gear, and all I have this great gear, and it's all just strapped to my body and in the bag. Extremely comfortable now, and the pain in my legs is subsiding, so talking has really worked. So whoever's there listening, thank you. You might very well have saved me an agonized hobbling, because I was starting to sort of old man up, like, oh my God, I'm now doing 3 kilometers an hour and going into a decline. But now my pace is, I think, back up to normal. I'm probably doing about 5. which is good. I don't know why it matters really. I'm going to get there either way. But the idea of I could be there in 10 hours, but I will be there in 21 hours because I'm not working fully effectively bugs me. Anyway, so I've told you my life story, pretty much. What else is there to share? I guess that's it, and it's all a bit goofy, strange, sad, tragic. I just hope there's a touch of inspiration to it as well, and I hope that helps people, because I'm getting such a buzz from that. These people who say, you know, I think it's just wonderful. I met a lady today on the way out from the city in Greenslopes, I think it was. Oh, she was just a magnificent human. Her and her friend. There were two of them. They were both so great. And they just asked me questions, all these questions, and I told them my story, and they were crying. And it's not, you know, people these days want validation. They want, oh yeah, the world loves me. Oh, I'm pretty. Oh, look, I've got, you know, pretty lips and pretty eyes, and I'm special. I honestly, I don't think I'm special, and I don't want validation. But the thing that I'm trying to describe, it's not like, oh wow, my story is good. What I'm trying to describe is this sense of connectedness that I'm experiencing when I just share the authentic story with somebody. And these ladies were crying, and she asked to hug me. Oh, and I've got a remark here. Let's see. You can get an app on some smartphones to find public toilet. Yeah, no, I mean Google Maps does it too. I don't know if that's in all countries, but Australia, someone somewhere, whether it's local councils or whatever, has been really diligent in making sure they're all set up. The problem is where I am now, through to the Gold Coast, now it's like, so I was in rural area, dark and messed up, but now it's all like this sort of industrial complex. So I don't know if you can see much of that. So there's all of these trucks around the place, scrap yards, and you know, factories and whatnot. So I'm basically, for the next 10k or so, it's just me, the occasional car passing, and a whole lot of factories. No amenities, petrol stations or whatever. There are just over there, like 200 meters to my right is a major artery. It's called the Pacific Motorway. So I don't know if you're even in Australia or you live in Brisbane. This is Robert. So okay, sorry, we've interacted before, mate. I believe in. My guess is you're a USA guy, but I might be completely off my rocker about that. But yeah, I'm in the middle of nowhere, so I think it's all about willpower, son. You know, just the urge has completely gone away now, and my pace is good too. So I've been walking for 14 hours more than, and my pace now is, I think, as vigorous as it was at the start, which I'm really pleased with. But yeah, that life story, okay, done. The motivations, okay, done. Random singing under the moon, okay, done. I'm mindful, so my challenge at the moment is wanting to help, wanting to succeed in that, and in order to do that, I have this sense, this feeling that I need to get better at pretty much everything. So all this streaming, whoever would want to watch it can't see me, so you're a legend, mate, and thank you for listening to my rambling. It really boosts me up. It's suddenly it's like I just was walking again, and that's what we can do for each other. You know, you, me, we can lift each other up. And there's another remark. Let's see. I'm in Brizzy. Okay, sorry, mate. I was totally off the reservation. No. A late night Macca's can give you a free cold water and let you use a loo. Yeah, I'll figure it out. If I saw a McDonald's, and it might be smart to do a preemptive little poop. For me, the main thing, I think talking about it has, because I haven't really eaten much today, for me it was just that funny idea, you know, like, did Frodo Aragorn, Sam, and all of that crew, you know, Legolas and Gimli, did they all need to shit on the way to Mount Doom? I imagine in reality they probably did. In fantasy, I do not recall any mention of it. You know, Boromir went mental. Did he need to poo though? And I don't know why that. It intrigues me that I'm sure there's all fringe art with all kinds of stuff out there in the world. You know, there's horror movies that address the very anatomical function in like a torture porn kind of a way. I'm sure that exists somewhere, and I have absolutely no need to see it. But yeah, I was just walking along and I thought, yep, okay, so here I am dressing up like I think I'm an Aussie Batman, but Batman never, ever, to my working knowledge, had to poo. I'd love to be corrected on that if you're a Batman fan, you know, like, no, in, you know, episode 18, after he was beaten up by, no, the Green Goblin, Spider-Man, isn't it? I don't know. I've been walking too long. I like to think I'm clever and smart, but I secretly fear that I am not. Yeah, so anyway, making it to the Gold Coast. I don't suppose it really matters. It's just like this weird self-imposed thing, and I just wanted to do this little trial by fire because I'm not completely ready. I'm not completely healthy. I've come a massively long way. So I on average walk at least 20 kilometers every day. And that's probably why I'm able to survive this as effectively as I am as an older person. But yeah, the trial by fire element of it is just also like it's been in my mind planning an itinerary for the big walk, and how to get out of Brisbane and into a place where I'm just away. Because the idea of sleeping under a bridge 20 kilometers away from my home, it's not appetizing. You know, it's just, I need to get out of the city, and I need to do it in that first day, and I think the Gold Coast would be that borderland for me. What do we got here? Congratulations on raising, oh okay, yeah. Look mate, my secret, thank you. I have this, I think we all probably have like this inner fantasy narrative, you know, so you've got your day-to-day life, you know, you go to Blogs and Wesson and you sell insurance or whatever you do, but in the back of your mind, yeah, you know, that manager who always really gets up your ass, but in the back of your mind, you're like a James Bond type character, and he comes up to you and he's like, I need these reports stat, and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Supervisor, and you throw him in an arm lock or something. So we all have this sort of fantasy narrative, I think, just running at a daydream or unconscious level in the back of our mind. And for me, mine's crystallized. So whatever I've previously fantasized about before, now it's just, if I could raise $1 million for the charity, I'd be a butterfly, you know, like as a human being. I could look everybody in the face and say, I did something that I'm really, really proud of. I came back from the point of death, right back, and I did that. And it was just my crazy Boofhead, you know, strategy, which probably is going to fail. And look, if I make 100 grand, I'll be delighted too. And I think that's possible. Oh, mate, I don't know if I'm supposed to mention it or if I'm allowed to, but today a camera crew from the project was following me around in the city. So I think next week I'm to be invited on the show, which is going to be great news. So what I hope is that there's just this, I don't know, that somehow, as strange as I am, people see past that, and they can see even just the simple commitment of the crazy walking, but ideally the other layers to the experiences that I've had and the meaning that they can apply to other people who suffer. And if that can resonate a little, then, you know, people start sort of sharing and talking about it and then helping each other with me absent. And just 2% more than it would have been naturally, you know what I mean? And if that happens and it gets a little bit of more press and attention, yeah, I mean, $1 million is my secret, you know, wet dream fantasy, but 100 grand would be delightful as well. So I'm just, I'm not walking until December. So I've got several months now to keep practicing and trying to get better at this stuff. What I think I need to be doing is like weaving these streams into some kind of story that's intriguing for people rather than just a random Boofhead jibber jabbering. You are either more resilient to boredom than most, more intelligent than most, or just somehow more compatible than most. And I remember when you were on the move a decade ago with the old costume, good to see the project helping out. Maybe others will, and then it says see more, and I don't want to accidentally turn it off or shut it down or whatever, but I get where you're going. Yeah, I hope so too. Before though, I didn't really know what Captain Australia was for, except that I saw darkness and I didn't like it. And I wanted to say, I guess the message for me was that, you know, these ideals that you would dismiss as comic book and say laughingly, what are you, a child? You know, they shouldn't be laughed at. Helping people is not funny. It's crucial. Trying to do the best thing and the right thing, even if it's a hard thing, is not a joke. It's not a childlike ideal. It's just sort of become a little bit like that because we've moved so far away from center, I think, as a society. And the thing that I'm seeing is mostly young people that I meet have this wonderful core of ethics. I don't know how old you are, mate, but the people that I meet that are in their like 20s or even younger have this very robust sense of wanting to do good in the world, which I find to be great. But then there's this sort of in the middle of that, there's just this take, eat, fuck, kill, you know, like it's about me, not us. And it was through society, I felt, and somehow me dressing up as Captain Australia was going to arrest that, which I don't think worked. But now I have more of a sense of what Captain Australia was for. I mean, literally, Captain Australia has saved my life. And if I, as an older and hopefully touch wood, wiser person can refine the kind of message that I could offer, I might be able to help people, you know. I would love to be able to just have like make a career out of kindness, if that makes sense, you know. So somehow I'm able to pay my mortgage and not lose the house, which is a very imminent risk. Like I've got this year to fix myself, and then you know, budgeted for a few extra months to complete the walk. But after that, I got to come back, cut my hair, shave my face, and get a job. So the more that I've done more actively to fix myself up, the better positioned I'll be to do that. Because rather than be running a failed travel insurance company, I'll have hopefully done something significant for the charity. But yeah, the young people have this great quality of ethics to them that I'm finding. I mean, maybe a bit ADHD in the attention span, but yeah. And Captain Australia was, I think, about that. It was about reminding people that ethics are something that we should refine, not laugh at. It's something that I've tried to do in my life, I think. And I think most people probably do as well. I think generally, more often than not, people are good. But you know, I've had just today people yelling at me in an offensive and hostile manner. And what am I doing? I was walking down the road with these. I met this family, these lovely little kids, 6 and 7, I think they were. I didn't stream any of it because, you know, who wants their kids on the internet? But yeah, they were really cool. The parent, the dad's, he's such a lovely man. His name's Dan, lives at Eagleby, and he, yeah, he's a really good dad. You know, it gives me hope for dads out there. Oh, that's some weird machinery over there. But yeah, you know, we're walking along, so I'm walking along with two children dressed as like Mario and Luigi, and dude drives past and he's like, oh yeah, you haven't ever, you know, and it's like, come on, man. How or what am I doing to hurt or offend you, buddy? You know? I'm so sorry that just hanging out wanting to give these kids a little funny memory is so aggravating to you. But yeah, I think those people are in the minority anyway. I really have walked through a lot of, well, this place smells. It smells like ammonia or something. Don't know what these factories do. So I'm just there, all of that industrial land off the Pacific motorway. I think I'm probably getting in towards Dreamworld now, and I might haul up there for a bit and have a rest, and you know, set them piggies free, let my feet breathe a little bit, and then press through and either wait for the sunrise or snooze a little bit until sunrise. I cannot believe your patience and resilience, mate, unless you're looking at, you know, anime or something and I'm just sitting there in a little window or whatever. If you're listening to all of this, thanks very much. I feel humbled by your attention, mate. But I do need to make sure, because my solar battery, as great as it was, has shit itself. I have a whatever you call it, a power panel though in addition to it. So I think when I walk, I'll be pretty much power self-sufficient. Solar battery can charge the power pack. The power pack can survive overnight. So I could even have music when I walk, but it's a slippery slope because I want to be able to just sort of be a bit zen, you know, a bit meditative, a bit sort of, oh, wise old man walking through the forest. But if I'm listening to Steely Dan or something, it just sort of, I don't know, slippery slope, it just undermines it a bit, I suppose. But yeah, the project, that may happen Monday night, buddy. When it clarifies, I'll drop it on Facebook and let people know. I'll try and do my best in the interview. But another part, I don't know, I'm an agitator by nature too. Like I have all these three that I've already described, earnest objectives, but I also like to just, it's not break things, but it's shake them and see what falls out, you know? Because people, especially you've got people who are really buttoned down, and they can't, you know, I get these bizarre stares like, what difference does it make what I'm wearing at the end of the day? But people are like somehow confronted by it, worried that I'm gonna, you know, abscond with them and hide them in a basement somewhere or something. Like, they look at me with outright fear, which I struggle to process, but in a way it feels like waking them up a little bit too. It's like, come on, snap out of it, buddy, you know? If you have enough of these experiences, you'll be inoculated to them a little. So I'm vaccinating atrophy and just, you know, workaday living, I suppose. Wow, that sounded clever. Well, dude, I might kill the stream there and just, because I got a good pace, I might try and escalate it a little bit and see if I can get, you know, get a bit closer to my goal. I will leave the Gold Coast tomorrow morning, catch a train home, and I'll update. I'll send stream updates in the meantime. Thank you for your attention, and anybody who looks at this video in the future, I hope it offers something worthy of some sort of insight or a giggle or whatever. I think I've been talking for a long time, and I'm sorry about the singing. And no worries, Cap, safe travels. You are an absolute bloody legend, buddy. All the best to you. And yeah, all right, Captain Australia. Well, I'm not wearing the mask, mate. So Simon, signing out. Cheers, bro. G'day, it's Simon, just with a quick update. You can probably tell I'm a bit tired. I had a little bit of a sleep. I don't know, maybe more than a little, like a couple of hours, and it's restored my legs quite a bit, which is good. So yeah, I'm just in the home stretch, and probably got about another hour and a half to go, and then I'll be able to, you know, just have a little snooze at the train station before riding the train home tomorrow. Well, today. I think it's at like 2 a.m. or thereabouts. So yeah, not much to update, just that I'm okay. I had a little encounter with some, I don't know if they meant me harm or not, but 3 guys followed me in the dark. And they were making cat call sounds. So I got my torch, my trusty mag light, and just shined it at them and asked them if we were going to have a problem, and they said, no, we're just going to go smoke some cones. So maybe they meant to assess if they could, roll me or not. I don't know. It sort of sucks the joy out of the evening, to be honest. Big picture, it's not that big a deal, but it was, now I have to kind of just have one eye open in case they were targeting me, and then they'll come back with a car, because that's the sad thing. 99% of people in the world, or maybe not that high, but most people, I think, are innately wanting to be good and do the right thing, and then you get the cancer in the system, the cells that are just destructive, and they have to be overcome. Anyway, I'm really tired, and I've still got about another hour and a half to walk, so I'll be able to rest before dawn and maybe get like a few hours of rough sleep. So when I slept before, it was just sort of near Dreamworld. There's a row of fences and trees and shrubbery and stuff, so I was able to just hide myself in there. I didn't anticipate the cold, so a lot of learnings from this. It's like 12 degrees now, I think, but now that I'm walking again, I'm fine. But when I was laying having my little rough sleep, I started shivering a little bit. Anyway, all is well, and this is really just an update to let you know that fact, all is well. So I'm gonna get as close as I can to this train station and find a place to sleep, I think. Good night. Oh, hello. Morning. Oh, I'm so flogged. So flogged. I am king of the brilliant idea. So yeah, I got to Nerang at like 3:15. I think it's getting close to 6 now. Looking around for a place to sleep. There were a few yobbos out and about, people drag racing cars and stuff. And then I got it into my head, you know what? So when I first started to stand up and walk forward after my cancer, it was hard. And what I would do is I'd be my own slave master. So I'd get to the end of a 5-kilometer walk, humble little walk, but then I'd be wanting a bath and a rest, but then I'd say, no, do it again, turn around and do the whole thing again. And so that helped me, and I guess I got into that mindset. So I got down to Nerang, and then I thought, no, you've had your naps, you're fine, turn around, walk back to Brisbane. So I got, back to Dreamworld. So I slept. I'll show you. You can see it from here. I think you can sort of see it. See the roller coasters and the Tower of Terror and all that sort of stuff. So I had a 1 a.m. or something, a little nap in there. But it was so cold, and I'm so stupid. I didn't account for the cold. So I was laying just shivering. I'd got a poncho in there, I put that on, still shivering. So I was thinking, yeah, look, I could get back. I can do it. But no, I can't bloody do it. No way. It's utterly mental. So I'm waiting for the train. I may fall asleep on the train. I think just to get here to this train station, the last few kilometers here, my pace is normally 5 or 6 kilometers. So I can do a better pace. I've become reasonable at walking. But here, it's like an old man. I don't know if I could even stand up. I'll try to stand up for you. Oh crap. This is not good. Oh, there we are. Now, oops. I don't know if you can see. I think I've lost a bit of extra weight, you know, just in the last 24 hours of walking. This is me. Oh. This is what walking looks like now. So, I think we're going to have to change it, people. It's now rebranded. I'll have to contact the charity people, let them know. It's Captain Australia's big Uber. I don't think there's anybody watching this now, and what sane person would want to? It's 5:40 in the morning. But in the future, should somebody come here and visit, know that all the crazy stuff I'm doing is for the Kids Cancer Project. It's to raise funds in support of the research into solving pediatric cancer. So you've got about 950 Aussie kids a year are diagnosed. 20% of them won't survive. The 80% that do survive suffer from the kind of profound problems that I went through. So I've tied up a lot of my own personal healing in the idea of being of service. So fixing myself involves helping others. So yeah, that's the driver for all of it. And I need to go home, hug my children, maybe soak my poor old dogs, my feet, in a bath. And if you're watching this in the future and the charity has absolutely exploded and we've made $1 million, donate more. It's a profoundly important cause. Just to reduce that death rate fractionally is saving the lives of, and not just the lives of children, but their family circumstances. You know, the grief and hope and despair of the parents. You've got the kids themselves, you know, learning to ride a friggin' bike. That's what a kid should do. Learn to ride a bike. You know, you don't need to be going in, like, they're torture chambers, these bloody radiation things. You get strapped down under this mesh mask, and if you've got burns and stuff and you can't swallow, it's a bit distressing. Some people develop claustrophobia, or a particular type of postural claustrophobia, but kids shouldn't. No. So, you know, if you're watching this at some time in the future and you're thinking, what kind of an elderly Boofhead goes walking around for over it's been 24 hours almost, with a little sleep and a couple of breaks. And I met this wonderful family, these lovely kids. I won't name them in case they could be, you know, internet stalked or anything, because I got threatened last night. I got yelled at a few times. So I went through some suburbs. The people have just sort of become brazenly rough and rude and cruel. So, you know, F-bomb more than once. But yeah, I had 3 young kids, just not wolves, dogs, just dogs, follow me, like dark, no street lights, a rural road, and they were just following me, you know, and I could hear them back. Whether they tracked me online or they just saw me walk past, and what their intent was it remains unclarified, but they followed me, and they were making taunty remarks like, and when they got close, it was saying, "We don't need any kept in Australia," or something like that. So I think they meant to do me harm. I believe that. I'm not sure. I'd like to say no, but I think they did. I think they were intending to roll me. So I got the old mag light out. It's a formidable torch. I don't know if you can see that. So got the old mag light out and stood and waited for them. And when they approached, I shined it at them and I said, all right, fellas, are we going to have trouble here? And they're like, fine, thanks, how are you? We're just going to have some cones. And, you know, fine. If they're just living their teenage lives, you know, I reckon they would have been 19 maybe. If they're not intending to bludgeon and accidentally kill some innocent man who's just gotten through the fight of his life with cancer, then let them go and be whatever they want to be. But I think given the opportunity, and if they saw that I wasn't, you know, prepared to resist, I think they intended to hurt me, yeah. So I said, all right, look, fellas, I got nothing to say to you. How about we go our separate ways? Are we going to have a problem? And they just, yeah, no, we're going to go have some cones, and off they went. But they had been following me for 45 minutes, I guess, I don't know. And the thing that sucked about it is, after they then like went off into the bushes, I had to keep one eye open from that point forward. So just, they might get a car, and you know, they know where I'm going. You know, they have an idea, so they might specifically target me. And I don't like making decisions based around fear of an outcome, you know. Joyfully hope of an outcome, I can live with that, but you know, fear, no thank you. So that bothers me and it annoys me. But you know, when you're in danger, you have to do the prudent thing too. So you know, and for the next 15 kilometers, I had to sort of just occasionally suddenly stop, just in case I can hear people moving behind me, or turn around and shine the torch. Sorry, I'm rambling. I'm very tired. Oh, look at that savage cut of a figure. Look at that magnificent beard. I've got all of these radiation burns here, so I can't grow a proper beard, but I think I've done a reasonable job. So this is a COVID beard. This is a COVID killed my travel insurance company beard. Yeah, but I'm glad I did this walk. It sort of set me up mentally. A lot of learnings. The blisters are no good. But yeah, I think I now have a pretty clear idea of how I'd approach the first day of the actual big walk. And I'd probably actually just come down somewhere around here, around Dreamworld, and sleep around here, and then continue in the Gold Coast the following day. And to get here, I think I'll need to just walk 15 or 20 at most before I take my boots off and have a rest, because you just you get this accruing fatigue and damage. Blisters get exacerbated, and anyway, so I've had a few good learnings. It's constructive and instructive. Keen to go home and kiss my kids, and yeah, I'm gonna figure out what to do next too. So I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. I very much want to help this very important charity, but I don't want to do it in the way that all these charities do their thing, you know, all glossy, shame, give, but it's all sexy too. It's, you know, it's like ads that you'll see on the walls at Woolies for, you know, this brand of honey, and everybody's happy and smiling, and you know, it's glossy. So it's the marketeers of the world that are controlling it, and that probably applies to generally as well. Like, politicians decide what they can and can't say based on how it flies with the public. So, you know, God help us, we're ruled by the marketeers. And the day that I become a marketeer, I want someone to just come up and give me a firm kick in the ghoulies, you know. So it's interesting doing this gung-ho sort of wild, crazy man thing to see if it works. And I hope that you can, you know, be curious about that. Look at me and think, what the hell is wrong with this person? But then you look past it and you see the charity, you see those horrifying numbers. But the hope of, it's like that quote, which resonates for me and I love it. They just save one life and you save the world entire. Yeah. So the research will iteratively improve the outcomes for little groups of children, disease cohorts, you know, like it might be that there's a particular project focusing on neuroblastoma, which is type of cancer that specifically attacks children, right? And then then there's 3 kids next year who don't have to face up to it, and those 3 kids go on to do wonderful, amazing things. Yeah. So look past all of the goofy, dressed up like a soldier, got my, you know, my tactical belts hanging around my neck at the moment, first aid kit and all that. You know, enjoy that. If maybe I'll do my best to make it funny, you know, but look past it and donate to the important charity. Yeah. So yeah, you've got sticky posts and links, but if you search Captain Australia's Big Walk, you'll find it. If all else fails, you go to captainaustralia.online. So that's just my blog. You know, write down what's going on, what I had for breakfast or whatever. I can't think of anything much more boring than that. But yeah, I'm figuring it all out as I go. But that website has prominent links to the charity donation page. So I'm done hassling you about it. If you can't, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Do it with love. You know, do it with that feeling of hope and doing a positive thing. And if you don't have the resources or the inclination, that's okay. Don't take guilt. I don't think guilt should ever motivate us to do anything, really. To not do things, maybe. You know, stop doing all that creepy stuff on the internet, you guilty freak. But, you know, don't donate out of a sense of guilt and whatnot. Donate because it's a fabulous and important cause. Anyway, I've gone off on a jibber jabber ramble. I think my train's going to come along soon. I may fall asleep on it, head home, and I will work out what to do next. I don't think I want to do another big long walk. I might do some fun stuff next time. All right. Anyway, all the best. Sorry for the ramble. Have a lovely Saturday. Start of school holidays here in Queensland. Looking forward to that. All right. See you later.